Alright, so welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to another video. So today's video I'm going to show you guys the results from using humic acid. Also, I'm going to give my yard another dose of humic acid. And plus, you guys haven't seen the backyard in a little while, so we're going to go over it and give a backyard overview. I'm going to show you guys what I'm dealing with and how the yard is turning out this season. So let's go ahead and take a look. Stay tuned. Alright, so here we go. So let's take a walk in the yard so I can show you guys how the yard is turning out, how everything is going this season. You guys haven't seen the backyard in a little while, and I've actually finished cutting it. See, I try to stripe it up a little bit here, and for the most part the yard is doing okay. It's not too bad. This yard is a turf type tall fescue yard if you're new here, and it's going into its second season. I did a renovation about 2 seasons ago, well, going on 2 seasons now. So this is the results of that renovation, and I don't think the yard is doing too bad. So in this little area here, this is where the poana is starting to die off. Poana normally dies off when the temperature starts to increase. So it's been really hot lately, around in like the 90s, real hot and humid. So the yard has been treated with a fungicide, but I had some poana on this side, so that's why you see the little brown tint in the yard also, because it's the poana dying off. So I got a few spots here that I pulled it out. I didn't really plant anything in that spot, planted something in there, so it's growing in little by little. So, but also the yard is dealing with a lot of heat stress right now also. So that's what you see over here in this area. The yard, that little brown tint here, is heat stress. So that's from due to lack of watering, and I haven't been watering the yard, only what Mother Nature has been giving me. I will water occasionally, but I'm in the process right now of training this yard, so you don't want to overwater yard. So I've been training the yard to survive on less water. So that's how you want to do it. I've done it to the front yard, and as you guys can see, if you looked at my previous videos, you noticed that the front yard, it came out wonderful. That front yard is in its 3rd season. This is in its 2nd season. So the front yard used to look like this one last season when I was training it to survive on less water. So you do not want to overwater, but if you do see it starting to brown out a little bit, you can go ahead and water it. Give it a nice deep watering. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm training it. So by the 3rd season, this yard will pop in and look great. So, but for the most part, as you guys can see, it's not too bad. It's not doing too bad. So, but today's video, I want to show you guys what the results of using humic acid, because a lot of people are kind of confused on why people use humic acid in the yard. And humic acid has a lot of benefits that it does for your soil and also for your grass roots. So a lot of people don't really understand it, but I've been using a heavy dose of humic acid on this yard last season. Haven't applied anything this year. So, but for the most part, humic acid is great for root development, also strengthening the roots and strengthening the actual grass plant cells itself. And you know, it does a lot of other things of helping the soil soak in and use a lot more of that fertilizer. So say if you're on a fertilizer program, that soil is going to help, that humic acid is going to help that soil take in more of that fertilizer, so you're not wasting fertilizer. Because sometimes when you're regularly fertilizing, your soil don't intake a lot of that fertilizer. So humic acid is going to help open up that soil, help your soil, actually the pH of the soil also level it out. So this backyard, if you guys seen it in my previous season, like before I did the renovation, it was a disaster. So for the most part, I had to basically spend last season and this season kind of correcting the soil, getting a lot of the micronutrients back into it, along with the macronutrients and stuff like that. This soil was in bad shape, so for me to even have grass back here and looking decent, it's a big plus. So as you guys can see, if you looked at that previous video, got the this is where that fertilizer burn happened. As you can see, we replanted everything and it's growing back in. So give it a couple more, like maybe 2 more weeks, and it'll be ready to be cut and blend in with the rest of the grass. But like I said here, this is the results of me. I got to correct the soil, so I've been on a decent fertilizer plan, a nice fungicide plan, so make sure you don't deal with any funguses. Insecticides, it's been treated for insecticides because I do have animals and stuff, 2 dogs that run and play back here. So you want to make sure your grass is strong enough and basically can take on the punishment of being used. Now, some people don't use their backyard, they just got it grass, nice green grass, and they don't walk on it and it's just for show. But no, my backyard get used, and you know, it takes a beating too, so you know. But like I said, I had to correct the soil, so that's why I've been on a heavy humic acid plan. So this season, this is going to be the first time I applied the humic acid back here. And also I want to show you how humic acid does for your soil. So I'm gonna give you show you a sample of my soil, and I'm going to show you how humic acid softens up your soil. So for the most part, let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, so I just picked a spot in the grass, and I want to give you guys a quick demonstration of how my soil looked. Now, my soil here is a sandy loam soil. So a sandy loam soil is normally used in gardens, but it's also can be used in, you know, for planting grass. I had no idea what kind of soil it was until I got a soil test and came back, it was a sandy loam soil. Sandy loam soil is pretty much made of sand, a little bit of slit, and a little bit of clay, but mainly the main part of sandy loam soil is sand. Now, when it comes to the sandy loam soil, it's great for plants and grass and stuff like that because it drains out pretty quick. So knowing what kind of soil you have also is a great benefit to growing your grass, because then you know how much moisture that soil can hold. So that'll let you know whether you need to water a little bit more frequent or pull back on the watering. So I know that I got a sandy loam soil, so I know that my soil is going to soak in a lot of that moisture and then drain out very quickly. So it's a good thing and a bad thing also. But let me give you a quick demonstration how my soil look, and then I'll also show you how things are going. So for the most part, this is how my soil look. So it's gonna be it's not gonna be very tough. As you can see, it's very crumbly, but then it balls up a little bit because that's that clay effect in it. But it's hard to get out real coarse because it's that sand effect. The sand is not really gonna let it, you know, it's gonna come out crumbly, and then but it's gonna form because of that clay and that slit. See, so that's what my base is made of here. I can take another spot here, and it's just pretty much going to do the same thing. So for me to get out cores, really not going to be able to get out good cores like that because it's so crumbly and it breaks up so easily. So, but as you can see, if you notice, let me get a core down in there deep. And as you can see, all the way down about at least 4 or 5 inches deep, this soil is still moist. So that's the effects of sandy loam soil, because it's gonna drain down deep from each watering. The soil holds a lot of moisture down deep into the, basically 4 or 5 inches deep into the soil. So that's gonna make your grass roots digging deeper and looking for that moisture. So that's why I do not water as often with this kind of soil, because it drains and it holds a lot of moisture deep down into the soil. So that's why you want to know what kind of soil you're dealing with in your yard, because it'll give you a better idea of how to go ahead and plant your grass and how often you should water, if you need to water a little more frequent or you need to pull back. Me personally, I'm gonna pull back because I'm training this yard to survive on less water so the roots can dig deep down into the grass. So anything that you see that is probably dead at the moment and turning brown, that's the grass that's probably gonna die off anyway. And this season I will be dethatching and aerating and overseeding. So majority of the grass that's still green will be here. The parts that are pretty much browned out will get pulled out from dethatching, and then I'll aerate and overseed, and that's how you build your grass and you build a stronger turf. So as you can see, I got a little screwdriver here, probably about 5-6 inches here, and this is just the effect of using humic acid. You take it, make sure you ain't got no rocks there, and look how soft that soil is. Look at that. I just pushed that right down in there. Push it down in there. Now you could do that in any spot. So using humic acid is great. Look at that. Easy, effortless. So that's letting you know your soil is healthy, it's soft, and that will help with your grass root development. I did the same thing in the front yard, and as you see, the front yard came out great. So I'm doing the same thing back here in the backyard. So I'm just basically training the grass to do what I want it to do, you know. And for the most part, it is doing pretty well. It's standing up to the test of the heat. So also, I'm going to show you another side over here that has not been treated with aggressive humic acid. I haven't actually did any humic acid treatment on this side of the house here, and I can show you a quick demonstration of what I mean. Now look at this little area here. This is the little like pathway. Got a lot of weeds here and got moss developing over here. So this area here, I'm gonna have to correct it this season and pretty much get this side of the yard up to speed. But like I said, I haven't used any kind of humic acid on this side, and it can show. Now watch this when I try to pull it in here. Push this screw, that's a little rock right there, but look, check it out. Pick this area here. It takes a little more effort. You see that? It's not as easy to push down this screwdriver because this hasn't been treated. So this part of the yard, this soil is still hard. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the same soil I have throughout my front yard and my backyard. It's a sandy loam soil, but an untreated soil, this is the effects. So I can get it in there, but I have to use a lot of effort. I have to push it down, and that's what I'm talking about. So humic acid does work. It does help loosen up your soil, and it has many, many benefits. So let's take a look at the front yard. I'll give you a quick view of what I'm doing to the backyard, how I did the front yard. Now the front yard here came out great. As you can see, front yard is in great shape. I trained it to be on less water, so it's surviving the summer drought, summer heat, very easy. Look at that. Now I may have a little heat damage over there, a little heat stress, but for the most part, using humic acid on this front yard and keeping it mowed and all of that stuff definitely help. The yard is at its healthiest, and I'm doing the same thing I did in the backyard, well, in the front yard to the backyard. And this front yard is 3 seasons in. The backyard is going on 2. So like I said, the front yard used to look like the backyard last season in its 2nd season, but now as it's getting more adjusted and more developed, the root development of this grass is a lot stronger. I don't really water as much, you know, besides Mother Nature, or if I do see that the soil needs to be, you know, or the grass needs to be watered, then I'll put out my little sprinkler and water deep. But for the most part, I don't really need it because it's been trained. But as you can see, this is the front yard here, and everything looked good. So let's go ahead in the back. Let's put down a little bit of humic acid. Alright, so I'm going to be using GS Plant Food Organic Liquid Humic Acid. I'm going to fill it up in my ortho sprayer, about 12 ounces, like 12 ounces, and then I'm going to cap it off with water, even though you don't have to, because the ortho sprayer hooks up to the hose and it mixes automatically, but I'm going to stretch it some because it is concentrated. So I'm going to use 12 ounces, fill it up, and then I'm just going to go from back to front and spray the whole yard. So this is what I'm going to use. This is what I've been using for about 3 years, because I've been doing it on the front yard. So, and it's showed me some great results, and it's fairly priced. So this is the only other thing I use that's not in the big box store. You may find this if you go to a local lawn and garden type of shop. You may find this GS Plant Food, but you can also order it online. This is the only thing I use outside of big box store products on my lawn. So let's get to it. All right, so got everything all connected. I'm gonna spray at 1.5 ounces per square feet. So it's gonna be a nice slow spray. Make sure I get every area really nice and deep. And I'm gonna start at the back and work my way to the front. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so let me know what you guys think. I finished spraying down the humic acid. Have you guys ever used this type of humic acid on your lawn? Did you get good results? What do you think? And also, how is my lawn looking? How you guys think I'm doing? I think it's coming out pretty well, but I'd like to hear from you guys. If this video was a big help to you guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel to keep up with the actual results. And comment in the comment section. I reply to everybody. Well, I try to reply to everybody if I see your comment pop up. So let me know, and I appreciate you guys for stopping in, tuning into the video. It's very hot out here. As you see, I'm sweating. I thought I was doing something, letting the sun come down, but it's still humid and very sticky. So I'm gonna get out of here, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit me with a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Take care.